What's up everyone, I'm back again with another video. So this time, I'm gonna talk about the DLC that was released recently. And by the time this video is uploaded, I would imagine it will be roughly a week since the DLC has been released. Well anyways, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. First thing I want to talk about is the animation, which I think is decent overall, but not as good as some of the better ones from the main game. Well, let's take a closer look at each individual series. So let's start things off with the High New Gundam. I think it's better than what we got from T, but I still prefer the regular New Gundam from this game. And my biggest reason for this is the lack of pilot cut-ins. And instead of that, we got cut-ins for the actual Gundam, which isn't bad as you can see on the screen right now. But for a machine tailor-made for Amuro, this is a little strange, especially when you consider the fact that both New Gundam and RX-78 have some really cool cut-ins for Amuro. Next, we have Sakura Wars. I really like them personally, and if I have to nitpick, I would say I love to see them take a bit more liberties with their attacks, especially their finisher. Just make them a little bit flashier, and it'll be perfect. But that's just me. I'm sure some people think they're perfectly fine the way it is right now. And then there is the combination attack. If you just watch this with no context, it's really stupid. It's essentially just a cut-in of the two characters holding hands, giant heart appears, and they blast the enemy with a energy wave. But as a fan of the game, I couldn't be happier. This is more or less how these attacks are like from the original game, so I'm really glad the developers fully embrace the silliness of this. Just look at this, it's just pure nonsense. Moving on, we got Voltes Vive here. This is also really solid, and similar to the High New Gundam, I just wish there are more pilot cut-ins, or at least have ones that are a bit more dynamic. What I mean by that is, take Hyoma from Combative as an example. He has a few cut-ins that really gives you a sense of movement, or the fact that he is in motion. So I just wish Voltes 5 has a bit more of that. And as for the combination attack, I got no complaint. I didn't think they'll actually include this, so this is a pleasant surprise. And finally, we have Ryuko and Koryo. And I have to say, this might be the weakest link in this DLC. Of course, this is just my opinion, so feel free to disagree. And maybe I feel this way because I'm still a little bitter about Daisengan not making the cut. But I feel like everything about this unit is just somewhat mediocre and kind of forgettable. All their attacks are not terrible, but they aren't amazing either. So that takes care of the animation, and now let's talk about the plot. And to my surprise, and maybe to many others, there are actually a good amount of story for the DLC. I was fully expecting them to just make one stage for each series, and that's it, right? Turns out there are multiple stages for each series and a good amount of interaction of other characters. They even have dialogues in the main game, and what I mean by that, for example, the Sakura Wars group started talking during one of the rare stages, and I legit did not expect that. So this is really different from what I was led to believe. Maybe I just had the wrong assumption, because I'm pretty sure they said the DLC will have no relevance in the main story, so I just assume these characters won't be acknowledged outside of the DLC stages. But well, I sure am glad I'm wrong, and I am now really looking forward to the next DLC. And lastly, let's talk a bit about the issues they had with the DLC. As some of you might know, there are some glitches and bugs after the update. And I know, making a game is not easy, and it's almost like impossible to make a game with no glitches or bugs, but something like this where one of the main characters, and for those who don't know, it's Red 5 from Majestic Prince, just straight up disappearing? That's not acceptable. It's been a few days already and these issues still haven't been resolved, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they will get this fixed soon, and maybe they can learn from this and the next DLC will be a little better. This is it for the video, and before I wrap things up, I just wanted to say that yes, I still plan on making a review for this game. The main issue is that I still haven't finished the game. I think I'm pretty close to beating the game, maybe 20-25% left. so it shouldn't be too long before I can get around to it. So that said, thanks for watching everyone, take care, and I will catch you next time.